Hello everyone and welcome to today's online class for class 11. Einstein suggested that light or electromagnetic radiation show dual nature, that is they can behave as a wave as well as a particle. Now scientist de Broglie gave another suggestion, another theory, de Broglie's theory, that particles, microscopic particles like electrons, when they are in a motion, their motion can be associated with a wavy nature, Now the wave that is associated with this motion of this microscopic particle, this wave is known as the de Broglie wave or matter wave. Now these de Broglie wave or matter wave are quite different compared to the normal electromagnetic wave, because this kind of wave is created or is associated when a microscopic particle are in motion. Their motion is associated with the wavy nature, but the particle itself is not a wave, but when they are in a motion, the motion of this microscopic particle is associated with a wavy nature. Now this wave is known as the de Broglie wave or particle or matter wave. De Broglie also suggested that the wavelength associated with this particle, motion of this particle, now if the wavelength is lambda, when a microscopic particle is in motion and the motion is associated with the wave, a de Broglie wave, the wavelength associated with this de Broglie wave lambda will be inversely proportional with the momentum of this particle. If the microscopic particle have the mass of m and with velocity it is in motion, if the microscopic particle is having a mass m and with the v velocity the microscopic particle is in the motion, in that case the wave, de Broglie wave associated with this motion of this microscopic particle, the lambda, the wavelength of this wave will be inversely proportional with the momentum. Now momentum is the product of mass of a particle with this velocity of a particle. So it is the lambda value, the wavelength of this de Broglie wave is inversely proportional with the momentum of the moving particle. So lambda equals to h by mv. Now h is the Planck's constant. By multiplying h we can do this equal value. We can transform this proportional equation into an equal equation. That's why this proportionality constant, Planck constant, has been multiplied in here. So what I am trying to say is that the wavelength lambda for this de Broglie wave, that is being associated when a particle having a mass m with a v velocity is in motion, the de Broglie wave associated with this motion of this microscopic particle, the lambda value, the wavelength of this de Broglie wave is inversely proportional with the momentum of this particle, or lambda equals to h by mv, where h is the Planck's constant. According to Planck's theory, E equals to h nu, or E equals to c by lambda. Lambda is the wavelength of light and c is the velocity of light. And nu is the frequency of that light. So the energy associated with this electromagnetic wave light is given with this equation, E equals to nu h nu or hc by lambda. According to Einstein, Einstein E equals to mc square. That is, c is the velocity of light and m is the mass of the photon. So this is c is the velocity of the photon and m is the mass of the photon. Now, Planck's theory is associated this equation when the light is considered as a wave. Einstein is combining this theory by assuming light in the form of the particle. So the energy that we are getting by assuming light as wave will be same if we assume the light as particle and try to calculate the energy in the light. So the energy that we are getting from both the equation is same. So we can compare these two equations and can write, therefore mc square equals to 8c by lambda, or lambda equals to 8c by mc square. C, by cancelling 1, it will give the equation, it will simplify the equation as lambda equals to h by mc. Now in this relationship, in this expression, the wavelength of lambda is in relation with the velocity at which the electromagnetic wave light is moving with the mass of each photon. So in this equation, the wavelength of lambda is associated with the momentum of the photon, with which the momentum of the photon that is actually moving, that is actually creating the entire electromagnetic radiation. De Broglie point out this theory into his dual nature of particle theory. He suggested that if light is in motion and the momentum of the photon can be associated with the wavelength of the electromagnetic wave, in that case the momentum of the microscopic particle when it is in motion can also be similar way, can relate with the wavelength of the de Broglie wave. That is, if a particle with mass m is in motion, with the velocity v, then by applying this equation into the wave associated with this motion of macroscopic particle, you can write lambda equals to h m into v. This is the de Broglie's equation where h is the constant term. That's why you can say lambda inversely proportional with the momentum of the microscopic particle in motion. So in short, the wave associated with the motion of a matter particle are known as the matter wave or the de Broglie wave. Now this de Broglie wave are quite different compared to this electromagnetic wave. Like electromagnetic wave associated with an electric field and magnetic field. When a magnetic field and electric field combine, they create an electromagnetic field which then associate with an electromagnetic wave. Contrary to de Broglie wave, which is associated with and microscopic particle is in motion, and the motion of that microscopic particle is associated with a wave. That wave is known as the de Broglie wave. It do not associated or related with electric field or a magnetic field. Another difference is that all electromagnetic wave moves with the velocity of light. On the other hand, de Broglie wave moves with a different velocity depending on the velocity of the particle, microscopic particle that in motion. The last one is well known, that is the wave length of the electromagnetic wave lambda is related with this expression, lambda equals to h by mc. On the other hand, wavelength of de Broglie wave is associated with this expression, specifically lambda equals to h by mv. Now, this is the difference between electromagnetic and de Broglie wavelength. When an microscopic particle, matter particle with a mass m is in motion with a velocity v, the momentum mv is related with the de Broglie wavelength associated. The wavelength of the de Broglie wavelength associated with this motion in accordance with this relation, that is lambda equals to h by mv. Now, for microscopic particle, for normal particle that we can see in naked eyes, the mass is extremely high. That is, the denominator term m is exceptionally high. As the denominator term is exceptionally high for microscopic particle, which then creates this entire fraction extremely small, which in turn results in extremely negligible amount of value for this wavelength of the de Broglie wave. So the wave associated with the motion of microscopic particle is become exceptionally negligible for us to notice. That's why this entire wave nature of microscopic particle is not considered when we are talking about particle in a macroscopic world. That's why dual nature of particle, de Broglie's theory is only applicable for microscopic particle in motion, that is matter particle in motion. Let's say a particle, a microscopic particle, matter particle. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a linear graph and the matter particle is in position of +2. Now, if I say that actually I do not know the actual position of this particle, whether it is in this position or not, but it may deviate plus minus 1 from its original position. That is, now the range of the particle is plus this way, plus 1, that is position 3, and minus 1 at position 1. So the particle now can have a position from plus 1 to plus 3. I cannot actually definitely say at which point the particle is residing right now, but I can say that this is the range of the particle within which the particle may reside. So I am uncertain about the position of the particle. So I am saying that this is the range at which the particle is residing. The particle cannot exceed out of this plus 3 and cannot go beyond this plus 1 or towards the left hand side also. It is going to be residing during this range only, but I cannot say exactly at which point the particle is residing within this range. So uncertainty in the position is being there in the position of this particle. So suppose the position, the particle is electron, and the position of an electron I am saying x. But now I am saying I cannot certainly say whether the position of this particle electron is going to be x or not. there's going to be a certain amount of uncertainty. The amount of uncertainty, that is the plus minus 1, which is the uncertainty in the actual position, that is going to be delta x amount. So what I am trying to see is here, supposedly in macroscopic world we say the position of this point, this is this point, but in microscopic, if I cannot definitely say the position of a microscopic particle, but I can actually say the range of the particle within which the particle may reside, then I can say that okay, the position of particle, this maybe this is, and the uncertainty within the position of the particle is x. So in a nutshell, what I am trying to say is that x is denoted as the position of electron supposedly, and delta x is the uncertainty. Uncertainty in the position of that electron. X, if x is the position, or x is denoted as the position of the electron along x-axis, then a delta x is going to be represented, delta x we are representing as the uncertainty in the position, in deriving the position, in telling the position of the electron along that x-axis. Similar way, Px is denoted as the momentum of moving electron, revolving electron, and it is given by mass multiplied by the velocity of the electron, mv. This is the momentum. Now momentum, if Px is denoted as the momentum of the electron, and if we find out some amount of uncertainty in the determination of the momentum of the electron, of the revolving electron, in that case we will say delta x, delta Px as the uncertainty in the momentum of the revolving electron. So what I am trying to say is that electron revolves around the nucleus in a fixed circular path, which is known as the orbit. That is Bohr's theory. Now, if a position of an electron in any instant of time, if we represent that by x, and if an uncertainty is created that we cannot actually say whether that is exactly the position, there may be some amount of deviation that has created, then there is the uncertainty in the position of the electron, and that uncertainty amount in the position of the electron is designated as delta x. The similar way, the momentum of the electron is designated as Px, that is nothing but the mass of the electron times the velocity at which the electron is revolving. So momentum, if designated as Px, then the uncertainty that is created during the determination of momentum, that is a deviation may created during the determination of the momentum at that position of the revolving electron, then the uncertainty in the determination of the momentum is designated as delta Px. Scientist Heisenberg studies this uncertainty in position of subatomic particle like electron, and also uncertainty in the momentum, determination in the momentum of subatomic particle like electron. And he suggested that subatomic particle and electron, the position and momentum of this electron cannot be determined accurately and simultaneously. Like what he's trying to say is that when you try to determine the momentum of a moving electron, revolving electron, and also the position of that moving electron accurately and simultaneously, you cannot actually determine. You always find some amount of uncertainty in the values that you get. And he actually pointed out how much amount of uncertainty that you can get, the minimum amount of uncertainty value that you can get. He is saying that supposedly if the uncertainty in the position B delta x and the uncertainty in the momentum B delta px, which is nothing but delta m Vx. Now mass cannot be uncertain of a particle, subatomic particle, therefore m delta Vx. Uncertainty in mass multiplied uncertainty in the velocity. So if this is the uncertainty in the momentum and this is the uncertainty in the position, the product of these two uncertainty, the product of these two uncertainty delta x multiplied delta px, the minimum value of this is going to be h by 4 pi. Now h is Planck's constant and 4 pi is a constant value. Therefore, this entire h by 4 pi, the value is this value is a constant value. And Heisenberg is saying that the uncertainty that we will get in position in determining the position and the uncertainty that we will get in determining the momentum, the product of these two uncertainty will always get the minimum amount of uncertainty, the minimum amount that we will get, the product of these two uncertainty, the minimum amount that we will get is going to be equal to h by 4 pi amount. The uncertainty may be more than this value, but never going to be less than this value. The minimum amount of value that is going to be h by 4 pi and can be more than that. That is the equation that is given in here. The product of uncertainty in position and uncertainty in momentum is greater than equals to h by 4 pi. Now, delta x, delta px is nothing but m multiplied delta vx, that is greater than equals to h by 4 pi, or by taking this mass m onto the right hand side of the equation will become delta x uncertainty in position multiplied delta vx uncertainty in the velocity greater than equals to h by 4 pi m. Now for any subatomic particle, the mass of that particle is constant, so this entire value still remains constant for a particular subatomic particle. Hence, this entire expression of uncertainty principle, Heisenberg uncertainty principle, can also be written with the help of this value, which is saying delta x multiplied delta vx greater than equals to h by 4 pi. The product of these two uncertainty, the minimum value for the product of these two uncertainty is going to be h by 4 pi. It cannot go less than that value. It can be equal to that value or can be more than that value.